Hello everyone, this is Science Minds and you're watching the audiovisual chapter of Class 11th Biology. This is the second part of Chapter 21, Neural Control and Coordination. We're starting off with the CNS or Central Neural System. The brain is the central information processing organ of our body and acts as the command and control system. It controls the voluntary movements, balance of the body, functioning of vital involuntary organs, example lung, heart, kidney, etc. Thermoregulation, hunger and thirst, circadian rhythms of our body, activities of several endocrine glands and human behavior. It is also the site of processing of vision, hearing, speech, memory, intelligence, emotions and thoughts. The human brain is well protected by the skull. Inside the skull, the brain is covered by cranial meninges, consists of an outer layer called dura mater, a very thin middle layer called arachnoid, and an inner layer which is in contact with the brain tissue called pia mater. The brain can be divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So, forebrain. The forebrain consists of cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Cerebrum forms the major part of the human brain. A deep cleft divides the cerebrum longitudinally into two halves, which are termed as the left and the right cerebral hemisphere. The hemispheres are connected by a track of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. The layer of the cells which covers the cerebral hemisphere is called the cerebral cortex and is thrown into prominent folds. The cerebral cortex is referred to as the grey matter due to its greyish appearance. The neuron cell bodies are concentrated here, giving the color. The cerebral cortex contains motor areas, sensory areas, and large regions that are neither clearly sensory nor motor in the function. These regions, called as the association areas, are responsible for complex functions like intersensory associations, memory, and communication. Fibers of the tracts are covered with the myelin sheath, which constitute the inner part of the cerebral hemisphere. They give an opaque white appearance to the layer and hence is called the white matter. The cerebrum wraps around a structure called thalamus, which is a major coordinating center for sensory and motor signaling. Another very important part of the brain called hypothalamus lies at the base of the thalamus. The hypothalamus contains a number of centers which control body temperature, urge of eating and drinking. It also contains several groups of neurosecretory cells which secrete hormones called hypothalamic hormones. The inner parts of the cerebral hemispheres and a group of associated deep structures like amygdala, hippocampus, etc. form a complex structure called the limbic lobe or limbic system. Along with the hypothalamus, it is involved in the regulation of sexual behavior, expression of emotional reactions, example excitement, pleasure, rage, and fear, and motivation. Midbrain. The midbrain is located between the thalamus, hypothalamus of the forebrain, and pons of the hindbrain. A canal called cerebral aqueduct passes through the midbrain. The dorsal portion of the midbrain consists of mainly of four round swellings or lobes called corpora quadrigemina. Now the hindbrain. The hindbrain comprises pons, cerebellum, and medulla, also called medulla oblongata. Pons consist of fiber tracts that interconnect different regions of the brain. Cerebellum has very convoluted surface in order to provide additional space for many more neurons. The medulla of the brain is connected to the spinal cord. The medulla contains centers which control respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, and gastric secretions. Three major regions make up the brain stem: the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Brain stem forms the connections between the brain and the spinal cord. Now the reflex action and reflex arc. You must have experienced a sudden withdrawal of a body part which comes in contact with objects that are extremely hot, cold, pointed, or animals that are scary or poisonous. The entire process of response to a peripheral nervous stimulation that occurs involuntarily that is without conscious effort or thought and requires the involvement of a part of the central nervous system, is called a reflex action. The reflex pathway comprises at least one afferent neuron receptor and one efferent neuron effector or exciter, appropriately arranged in a series. The afferent neuron receives the signals from the sensory organs and transmits the impulse via dorsal nerve root into the CNS at level of spinal cord. The efferent neuron then carries signals from the CNS to the effector. The stimulus and response thus forms a reflex arc as shown below in the knee-jerk reflex. You should carefully study to understand the mechanism of a knee-jerk reflex. Sensory reception and processing. Have you ever thought, how do you feel the climatic changes in the environment? How do you see an object and its color? How do you hear a sound? The sensory organs detect all type of changes in the environment and send appropriate signals to the CNS, where all the inputs are processed and analyzed. Signals are then sent to different parts or centers of the brain. This is how you can sense changes in the environment. Sense organs. We smell things by our nose, taste by tongue, hear by ear, and see objects by eyes. The nose contains mucus coated receptors which are specialized for receiving the sense of smell and called olfactory receptors. These are made up of olfactory epithelium that consists of three kinds of cells. The neurons of the olfactory epithelium extend from the outside environment directly into a pair of a broad bean sized organs called olfactory bulb, which are extensions of the brain's limbic system. But nose and tongue detect dissolved chemicals. Both nose and tongue detect dissolved chemicals. The chemical senses of gustation or taste and olfactory smell are functionally similar and interrelated. The tongue detects taste through taste buds containing gustatory receptors. With each taste of food or sip of drink, the brain integrates the differential input from the taste buds and a complex flavor is perceived. In the following sections, you will be introduced to the structure and functioning of the eye, a sensory organ for vision, and the ear, sensory organ of hearing. Here we are ending the second part of the chapter 21, Neural Control and Coordination. To watch more such videos, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any video. And if you want us to create more such videos on any other book or subject, do mention in the comment section please. Like and share the video to keep us motivated to create such content. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye. Love.